What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and some breaking news from the set of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, The Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong, Galadriel, boring, she, strong, independent women who don't need no man series, season 1. Very disappointing for fans of Lord of the Rings. It was basically a product to consume. It wasn't a product that people got excited about. It was a product that everyone gathered weekly to laugh at just how disastrous it was. Now, it would be ignorant. It would be unfair to deny that certainly millions of people did watch the show. The thing is, they didn't stay watching the show. And the overall Rotten Tomato scores were embarrassing. And now they made a really big move on set to fix it. It's all fixed. Everything's fixed. You want to know how they did it? Well, they fired all the men. I'm not kidding. Here we have Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, getting an 85% from critics because, of course, it features a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. But the fans largely hated it. I mean, really, really hated it. 39%. And the viewership we actually saw finally as the seasons wear on, House of the Dragon nearly doubles Rings of Power viewership after season 1 finale. Absolutely embarrassing. And I'm going to read this article. No sponsor, just a quick reminder. I uploaded a video of a little behind the scenes video this morning to my locals and my Subscribe Star. It's totally free to view. If you haven't yet, please do follow me on locals. It's thequartering.locals.com. I'll put a link in the description. It would be extremely helpful because then you actually get notifications when I do live streams, or if I want to actually update people, there's an app for your phone. And I don't really paywall any content. You don't have to pay any money or anything like that. But I do create some unique content for it that I hope you'll enjoy. Now, just to show you how bad it was, the show's basically started at the same overall viewership. And by the time the show ended, everyone had tuned out. Half of the people that started it, because HBO's House of the Dragon just was much better. It broke all kinds of viewership and streaming records throughout its first season. It delivered the most watched premiere ever on a premium network and had massive streaming numbers on HBO Max each and every week. The series continued the Game of Thrones tradition of huge ratings. That trend continued through season 1 finale. In fact, in the week after the finale, House of the Dragon viewership nearly doubled that of fellow blockbuster series Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Is it a blockbuster if it's half the viewership of the next one? On Thursday, Nielsen shared its streaming data for the last week finally, October 17th through the 23rd, and the final day of that time frame was the day the House of the Dragon finale premiered on HBO and HBO Max. So its first several hours of viewership were part of the week's count. The finale was enough to lift House of the Dragon to more than 1 billion minutes streamed over the course of the week. In that same time span, Amazon's Rings of Power did much worse, with just 570 million minutes. This is a show that started with nearly 2 billion. This is a massive drop-off. And of course, we know also award season came around and it received 0. That is, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 0 Golden Globe nominations, while Better Call Saul, The Crown, House of the Dragon, Ozark, and Severance all received nominations there. Emma D'Arcy was nominated for Actress of the Year. I wonder if she's, or Best TV Actress. I wonder if she's offended by that. And I don't know if Best Actor had anything. It looks like nothing in there. But I mean, several nominations for House of the Dragon. But now, apparently, it's all fixed. Thankfully, we can all sigh of relief. Rings of the Power Season 2, all female direction announced. Woo! Leave a like on this video right now if you agree that the show is completely saved. Subscribe right now if you also agree that the world might be saved. I don't even understand why this is a news topic. What's between your legs does not indicate whether or not you'd be a good director. It might indicate whether or not you'd be good at carrying a child, but that's about it. The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power sets all-female directing team reveals episode count for season 2. The upcoming second season of Amazon Studios' The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, which is currently in production in the UK, will be directed by Charlotte Brandstrom, who is coming back after helming 2 episodes in season 1, as well as Sana Hamri and Louise Hooper, who are new to the franchise. The announcement also indirectly confirmed that season 2 will consist of the same number of episodes in season 1, 8. In season 1, Brandstrom was the only female director. In season 2, she's leading an all-female direction team. All new cabinets. I mean, I don't even... so what? Are they any good? Like, are they any good at their job? I feel like that's probably more important than, again, what's between their legs. I just don't understand. Brandstrom, who directed episode 6, which features season 1's big battle scene in Mount Doom eruption, and 107, The Eye, which chronicled its aftermath, will be directing 4 episodes and will also serve as co-executive producer this season. She is taking over the lead director position from Wayne Che Yip, who directed 4 episodes, including the finale, and co-executive produced season 1. Yip and Brandstrom took over from J.A. Bayona, who directed the opening 2 episodes of the Fantasy Saga, which were boring as all get out, and served as an executive producer. Development by J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power is set in the Second Age of Middle-earth, thousands before, blah, blah, blah. Per Amazon, the first season of the Rings of Power had been viewed by more than 100 million people worldwide, with more than 24 billion minutes streamed. 100 million viewers, pretty good. Pretty good. But what did it end with? Was 50 million of those in the first 2 weeks? The series drew more than 25 million global viewers its first day. Oh, there you go. That's what I'm saying, right? So 25 on the very first day. And then for the next 7 weeks, a total of 75. I know it seems like I'm diminishing it, but if you actually look as a percentage, that's bad. That means it was trending way down. And we saw that it was trending half of where House of the Dragon was. A show isn't supposed to start at the top and then slowly drip down to less and less and less each week. Season 2 of the series is produced by showrunners and executive producers Payne and McKay, Lindsay Weber, Callum Green, a lot of people. Also co-executive produced by Brandstrom, producers Kate Hazel and Helen Shang. Co-produced Don't Care. Brandstrom recently finished directing the pilot for Netflix Sweden titled The Unlikely Murder, and her TV directing credits include The Outsider for HBO, Jupiter's Legacy, The Witcher, and Away for Netflix, The Man in the High Castle for Prime Video, and Outlander and counterpart for Stars. At least experience there, right? Brandstrom also directed 2 European limited series, Conspiracy of Silence, and I don't really know, I'm not in Europe, and has also directed over 30 feature films, miniseries, and movies of the week. She's an International Emmy Award nominee for Julie Chevalier de Maupin. Don't know, never saw it. I think it's pretty interesting that they're going to go with this. Like, they're going to go with let's just put more women in because that'll get headlines. Now, maybe they're great for the job. I don't know. Certainly there needed to be changes made. I think we would all agree with that, right? Now, are they hiring women because they're women, or are they hiring them because they're any good? I don't know. I'm not familiar with their catalogs. You probably will be in the comments. But we all know like how Disney does it, right? They hire women. They say, oh, it's a first woman, person of color directing Captain Marvel, Ava DuVernay, who's directed literally 1 film at that point. And then really they don't do anything. Marvel films direct themselves. There's a rare occasion where the director seems to have their fingerprints all over it, and he usually ends up poorly. For example, with the Thor movies. Now, I like Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit. I liked his work on What We Do in the Shadows. I even liked Thor Ragnarok. But the latest Thor was second worst Thor ever. And she just didn't seem like he cared. And I think that Lord of the Rings, I mean, I think it's good that they're making some changes in direction. But it seems like, you know what? It seems like there's just too many dang cooks in the kitchen. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like, you know, you've got a zillion executive producers and co-directors and co-producers and all this kind of stuff. And nobody knows what the heck they're doing. All female direction. Great. Okay. Is the show going to be any better? A woman directed a bunch of episodes last year and they weren't very good. None of the episodes were good. I feel like they should probably bring in some people familiar with the source material. We'll have to find out more about these, but yeah, not exactly thinking that this is the best move ever. Not just because they're women, but relying on that as a means for me to be entertained, for me to think things are going to get better. I just don't know. But it is Christmas time after all, and it is the 14th of December. So let's see what the Sonic calendar has for us. Oh, it's a little guy. Oh, more rings? Is that 2 days in a row of rings? That stinks. Okay, so we got more choking hazards for... I'll show you once I get it out here. Excuse me while I whip this out. I'll deal with that one later. These little tiny... Now, there is a hole in the bottom, so I'm guessing there might be something we can set them on, which makes more sense than just these things laying loose all over the place. I mean, I'm already worried about losing them myself, so it'll be interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it and you subscribe down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.